Hey, welcome back. So, Damon Fryer. What is he really like? Now, if you're watching this channel and subscribe to it, odds are good you know who Damon is. If you are watching this video and not subscribed, now is the perfect time. So, I had the opportunity to meet Damon Fryer back in the end of 2021 when I was down in California. So I got kind of a sense of the guy, I think. Got to hang out with him for about, half hour or so. So if you want to know what Damon Fryer is really like, let's go to the car wash, because as usual in Winnipeg, the car is a mess. And we will discuss what Damon Fryer is actually like. You might be surprised. Let's go. That carbon tax hits hard. We'll get to Damon in just a second, but first, I wanted to let you know about ModifyMe. Use the code SHANE10 and ModifyMe will give you 10% off any of their services. And if you're looking for wrap, tint, PPF, ceramic, you name it, they got you covered. Back to the video. All right, clean car, much better. Although it needs a much better job than I know how to do. So, Damon Fryer. Now, if you don't know, Damon is the founder / originator / creator of the incredibly successful Daily Driven Exotics YouTube channel. If you are already watching this channel, you're probably subscribed to them already. If not, well, if you want to see some supercar and hypercar shenanigans all across North America and in some instances Europe, like Gumball 3000, by all means, make sure you subscribe. So now, Damon is a Canadian like me. Well, he's a Canadian. I don't think he's really like me. Nobody's like Damon. He's pretty unique. But Damon was inspired by the late great Ken Block and wanted to learn to be like Ken in terms of his driving and gymkhana skills and stuff like that. And I mean, let's face it, there was nobody better than Ken when it came to that stuff. So Damon bought himself a Lamborghini Gallardo, started doing donuts and figure eights, trying to learn how to do the gymkhana stuff. He would go bombing down logging roads in his native BC in that Lambo, and oddly enough, this goofball doing crazy stunts in supercars got some attention. And so his fan base grew and grew and grew. And then he invited his best friend Dave to come join him. By now you probably all know the DDE story anyway. But so Damon has taken the channel from him by himself doing weird and unusual stuff in a Lamborghini to almost 4 million subscribers and a multi-million-dollar business with an incredible fleet of cars. Now you're asking, okay, Shane, what's this got to do with what the truth about Damon, and how the hell do you know anything about Damon? Well, Damon and I have friends in common. through Gold Rush Rally, we have several friends and acquaintances that we both know. So, when I was down in California at the end of 21 for Fuel Run, midnight run to Vegas, awesome weekend rally, by the way, highly recommend. Parties like you can't believe. So, I was down there, and one of the mutual friends that we have is a photographer down there. And as my hotel was only a couple of miles from his studio, he said, "Hey, you should come check it out." I said, "Okay." I'm not going to turn down the opportunity to see a friend and see the business that he's growing and, to celebrate his success. Now, I have no doubt that he invited me because DDE was going to be there. It was the day that they were getting pictures taken of the old 488 Tire Slayer with the really wild and retro throwback black and white zebra livery. So I'm standing out there with Ted, just chatting. He's showing me the studio, and some of our other friends have vehicles stored with them and stuff, and that was all cool. And all of a sudden I hear the sound of a unmistakable Lamborghini V12. And I didn't think much of it. I mean, it's Costa Mesa, there's supercars everywhere. But it's getting closer, and closer, and closer, and closer. And suddenly I look towards the driveway, and I see a very familiar SVJ pulling in. Of course, it's Damon. The rest of the guys hadn't shown up yet. They arrived 4 or 5 minutes later. And, they're shooting a video because that's what they do literally all day long is either shooting or going someplace to shoot. So, they bring the 488 in and get the pictures taken, and they're doing their video stuff. And, so the car gets done, Ted's finished his thing, and they're ready to go. But Damon decided to hang around for a little while. I'm not saying he hung around because of me by any stretch, but he did hang around. And, when you see in some of the newer videos where a fan shows up to the new HQ and if Damon and Dave happen to be there, they'll, invite them in and show them around and generally show themselves as good guys. Now, I didn't get to know Dave really. He was busy taking care of the shoot. This was still back in 2021, so they didn't have, Mark, they didn't have their new fourth wall guy. And so Dave was very hands-on as far as the actual shoot itself goes. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty starstruck when they showed up, so I totally forgot to ask them for pictures. But at the same time, the time I got to spend with Damon, just like I said, just shooting the shit, just hanging out, being a couple of car guys, was fantastic. So there's a lot of people who hate on Damon because he's successful. Oh, you did this, you did that. And I mean, yeah, okay, he has made some mistakes in his past, haven't we all? But the Damon that I got to meet and spend time with and hang out with has actually been very inspirational to me. The Damon that I got to know and hang out with, he's been pretty inspirational to me anyway, and to a lot of other people, I'm sure. I mean, even before I met him, I mean, was driving a 911 year-round as a daily. A lot of you may not call it exotic or a supercar, and you know, that's cool. I get a lot of heat for daily driving this thing in Winnipeg, so I'm going to go ahead and say that a lot of people consider it exotic enough to give me hate for it. So, not only that though, but something at the beginning of this year flipped in my head. Switch went off, switch went on, whatever you want to call it. And I realized I wanted to focus more on my own YouTube channel, and hopefully you've been noticing the more consistent uploads as opposed to the entire slack of last year. I've hired the editing team of Jupiter Dawn, who are doing every other video for me right now, because I'm not that rich yet. And also, I have got myself a weight set. Not any kind of full home gym, I don't have room for that, but picked up a weight set and starting to look after my physical health a lot better. I mean, it's slow in coming, but habits take a while to build, but it's happening, and I can absolutely attribute that to the influence of Damon Fryer. Well, like I said, I don't know what exactly it was at the beginning of the year that prompted that flipping of the switch, so to speak. And honestly, I don't care. I don't care what it was. That it happened is good enough. And so for that, Damon, I don't know if you're going to see this. I just wanted to say thank you. I mean, we're both Gold Rush family, and that means a lot to me, as other members of the family will tell you. But yeah, so this is just kind of my thank you to Damon for being who he is and letting me get to meet the real him. And yeah, it's just it was a very cool opportunity getting to meet you, and the influence that you've had on me. And so for those hating on Damon, you know what? There's no point in hating somebody for their success. That's just silly. Find a way to be inspired by it. Find a way to be motivated by it. And chase your own success. Chase your own dreams. And with any luck, one way or another, you will be successful. I've got people who tell me I'm successful because of the type of person I am. And, you know, it's very flattering. But for me, success is a little more material, and so I'm chasing it. I'm pushing hard this year to really start chasing it. You guys are of course a big part of that, and so for that I want to thank you all, and thanks for watching, and I will catch you next video.